I'm delighted to say that Larry Nance Jr. has joined us pitchside here at Old Trafford at the Cleveland Cavaliers. Larry, what a trip you've been on. This is your 5th game in 5 days. Talk to us a little bit about your love of the game and how this trip has been for you.
So it's been incredible. Obviously, I wasn't fortunate enough to make the playoffs in the States this year, but I took it as an opportunity to come see my second favorite sport. I think basketball is my first. It's got to be.
Well, you've got to say
it's got to be, right? I've got to say that. To see my second favorite sport, and so just coming over here and immersing myself in this culture is one of my favorite things to do. I absolutely adore this sport.
Larry Nance Jr. there with the chaps over on Old Trafford. I'm delighted to say the Cleveland Cavaliers forward joins me now here on Lunch Talk Live. Larry, it's a delight to have you on. I would like to know, first and foremost, you're a Chelsea fan. How did that come about?
First of all, thank you for having me on. It's an honor to be on here with you. I've been watching you for quite a while now. I became a Chelsea fan originally via the 2010 World Cup. I was watching my favorite team being Cameroon, and I love Samuel Eto'o. And so, I fell in love with the game at that point, and then went off to college and kind of, was into basketball, doing my own thing for a little bit. And then when I came back and revisited the sport, like, my junior year, 2013, ish. Yeah, 2013, Samuel Eto'o was on Chelsea, and therein became my love of the Blues, and then following him, I mean, obviously Frank Lampard, and then following him, Eden Hazard, Thibaut Courtois, and now Mason Mount, Tammy Abraham. Like, I'm a Blue through and through.
I love it, Larry, and I'm so pleased that you watch the show, and that's great to hear that. Tell us a little bit about your Premier League morning routine on a Saturday and a Sunday morning. What does that look like in the Larry Nance Jr. house?
So the first hope is that I don't have a game, because then I'd be at practice at that time. But if I don't have a game, I leave my wife and dog sleeping, and I get up and go downstairs, turn the TV on, and I actually have my scarf wrapped around me. I normally either have the blue or the white, depending on the day, blue or the white Chelsea kit on. So, I'm very much so involved in it. But it's something that I wouldn't miss for the world. I mean, Saturdays, Sundays I look forward to them just because of that.
What about the locker room? Are you alone in your Premier League fandom, or are some of your teammates Premier League fans as well, Larry?
So on this current team, I am, unfortunately. But when I played in LA,
no.
and even last year, I had many people. Alex Caruso, unfortunately, I had to deal with him. He's a City fan, and you know how they are. And then my buddy Josh Hart is also a Chelsea fan. I had John Henson, who is a Chelsea fan, but then I also had to deal with LeBron in the locker room, who is a very open Liverpool supporter. So
yeah. Yep. They're there. They're in there, thereabouts, that's for certain. Okay, you've got to keep spreading the word, Larry. I want to talk about basketball and that you got back to training in just a second, but I just want to take a moment because I was reading about you, Larry, and about the Crohn's disease diagnosis that you had and the non-profit that you formed, Athletes Against Crohn's and Colitis, and the mission that you feel very passionate about to help athletes out there and all people who suffer with these conditions. Tell us a little bit more about your passion where this is concerned, with the illness that you have.
Yes. So when I was 16 years old, I was diagnosed with something called Crohn's disease, which is just an autoimmune disease of your digestive tract, and it can affect you in a wide range of areas. So for me, when I got to the highest level of sport and I had a platform that I could potentially help others with, I really wanted to jump on that opportunity and do something with it. And so there was a kid in New York that had DM'd me on Instagram and just telling me about his story and how he, looked up to me and wanted to meet me and all this stuff because he had just been diagnosed and loved sports. And we connected in New York, and, we kind of hatched this idea of starting a foundation together and benefiting, kids like me and him, these young athletes that are uncertain about how far they can go or their potential in life even, being diagnosed with this illness. And so we started Athletes vs. Crohn's, and we're going 3 years strong. And to this point, we've just done a lot of good, raised a lot of money, given out scholarships. We're very proud of the work we do.
That's wonderful stuff. Darren Fletcher, the former Manchester United midfielder, I think has colitis and has done a similar thing in the UK. So it's absolutely brilliant work you're doing there, Larry. I know that you returned to training, to practice on Friday. How was that? Was it strange at all?
It was bizarre, absolutely. So we all had to go in, with the masks on and our gloves on at first. And we went in a different entrance, and there were arrows on each sides of the hallways, marking, hey, this traffic goes this way and this foot traffic goes the other way. So we didn't come within a certain amount of feet of each other. And so you had to go in. There was our security guard standing there, and he would check your temperature, ask you the questions, how are you feeling? Is there anybody near you that's been sick? Are you sick? Stuff like that. And of course, the answer was no, no, no. And then we got to go in and we got to do a little workout. We got to do a 45-minute lift, all while staying 6 feet away from each other and disinfecting the weights after each time we touched them. And then after that,
Gosh.
we had to write our numbers on our own basketball so that nobody touched them except besides us. And then we were allowed to go shoot in our own gym. And the coaches had masks on, had gloves on, and of course, had to stay X amount of feet from each other.
Gosh, it's a whole new world, isn't it, right now? But a step certainly in the right direction to get back to playing, to give the fans what they want, and of course for you to do what you love so much. Larry, we are so delighted you joined us on Lunch Talk Live. Keep tuning in for the Premier League when it returns, and we will hopefully catch up again soon. Take care, Larry. Thank you.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me on.
Hi, I'm Mike Tirico, and thanks for watching. Make sure to hit subscribe for the latest news and highlights from NBC Sports.